15 years later, the console wars is over. The gaming scene is stagnant beyond belief. A love letter, an easy hate in the smallest details. Making a critic about this game seems unfair. Where to even start? Legend is titled due to the version I have for the ones who champion it. Boredom substantial phrases praising the most absurd quality that a game can ever have. Difficulty is the concept of rain. The most difficult games are really easy to find. Tetris, Spawn, Sinister, Ghosts and Goblins, Mortal Kombat, the old ones. But aside, I'm poor on skills where usual excuses rather than I like to make my players feel accomplished for walking 100 times in a very, very dark cave. However, difficulty was the only thing I could not find in Dark Souls. This is a terrible spot for a boss fight. That summarizes most of the game. Oh, the irony. Please catch the sarcasm in my voice. The game starts with the player trapped in a room. A safe spot, figure out controls and key mapping to be the very first task. A corridor full of tips and advice, a tutorial level. At the end, a small campfire, a bonfire. Teaching to the eyes of a player the figure that they have to find across all this realm. Yes, this is a game about walking around and stumbling upon little campfires. A door on a wall, please interact. Behind, an empty room, and not a space for a boss fight. The player walks ahead and, surprise, a boss fight. I spent 10 or so minutes trying to kill that giant buttfrog. The legendary difficulty of Dark Souls. Large hell bars. Is that everything you have to offer? Please do not bore me to death. Oh, is that an open door? Well, now I do feel like an idiot. In seconds, the game teaches to the player, if something seems too difficult, you are doing it wrong. My arrogance wanted to keep beating the giant buttfrog, but my ego was not going to be saved for ignoring the very obvious yellow painted on a side for so long. I resigned myself. The game is not trying to be arrogant either. It's something. The combat is quite enjoyable. Corridors, blood, and more tips and advice. Zelda-style combat is slightly more complex. The lock-on dueling mechanic is impossible to not recognize. A character creation sheet for Dungeons and Dragons. Pieces of other games glued together. The arrow range from World of Warcraft. The do not pull that many mobs you idiot mechanic. Afterwards, a gate made of fog. At the other side, the boss again. This time the player has a weapon, a single attack that lets half of the health bar of the boss. The boss dies in 5 or so attacks. Tutorial completed. The game is very easy. However, one thing to mention, the wall on the stairs. Teaching to not run around carelessly. An odd choice. Traps are unusual for an action game. I do not refer to visible hazards, obstacles. I refer to traps invisible in pair. Plot thickens and adventure officially starts. A small garden with greens and stones. Something shines nearby. Humanity. A path beyond. I chose to explore. I find a second path. Bones in the floor. I approach carefully. 2 skeletons. I defeat them. However, the enemies seem rather tough. What did the game teach us not even 5 minutes ago? Game not hard. You're just an idiot. Me idiot, me tries other path. Oh, game not hard. A zombie town, undead suburbs. Exploration goes smoothly. I feel rather happy playing hide and seek all over the place, with the little trinkets and such. The humor of the developers leaks. Rubbish fine, enjoy. I do enjoy, thank you. A new bonfire, another guilty pleasure. Adding points and see the number grow. Excellent combat, rubbish to find all over the place, and pointless points to accumulate pointlessly. The perfect game, at least for me. Walking around for so long can be a hassle for more active players. The combat might be too complex for button mashers. Please pray for the imbeciles that forgot the only lesson of the tutorial. Oh no, this game is famous for making games hard again. Journalists and video games seems to not be alone. No, this game is going to become a filter to discern thinkers from readers. The tutorial had two lessons. Search from fire, game not hard. Then I find the Black Knight. An obvious challenge for the most skilled. I engage. It is a tough enemy. For me, I had not found the backstabbing and parry feature yet. I win. My reward? Rubbish. You're welcome. A second floodgate. But wait! Since everyone's questions is, where is the checkpoint? Enemies respawn if a bonfire is used. This means to gamble that is acquired. At that moment, I felt outraged. I decided to capitalize my victory, to return. More points acquired, the number grows. I engaged the mission for a second time. While doing so, I tried to reflect. If game not hard, if developers not bad, why this choice of design? The layout of the map resounds with Castlevania. I only need a whip to be a Belmont. Locked doors, a merchant, I reach again for the floodgate. I decide to engage this time. An empty bridge. Do all bosses fall from the sky? I step ahead. An arrow appears behind me. Too late, the boss already appeared. I dance between the arrows and the boss attacks. An arrow hits me, there is knockback in the game. I stagger, the boss follows up, the boss kills me in 3 hits, I kill him in 20. Fair challenge. Sadly, a second arrow connects, and using potions in combat is not something familiar to me. Pain. I lose the loot, I get upset. There is another situation that relates that I hate. Babysitting the boss. Hinder the progression of players by punishing when they fail. Losing experience, returning to the start of a level, the walk of shame, all of them in many other games. The worst of all, making the player wait or lose time, and this feels exactly like that, making me waste my time. If this is only the beginning, I cannot see myself wasting my time with this game. It is very frustrating, more when everything else is enjoyable. A single checkpoint. I understand the ego of developers trying to make the hardest challenge ever. The teenager dream of the wannabe. Reinventing the wheel, unplug the controller, player dies in a loop. Player unplugs the machine, you lose. It was never a fair match to begin with. You need them, they do not need you. There is a game with such topic, the Stanley Parable. The evidence that art can be found in video games. Thanks for playing. The message at the end of so many games. It goes against the spirit of games. And the comparison is fair. This is a walking simulator as well. Is that a ledge? My second mistake. The little bridge ahead has a little ledge below. That will save me so much time. I lose an hour trying to make that jump, only to be the Minotaur on my second attempt. You are just an idiot. And the game is pushing the wrong buttons. I proceed ahead and no bonfire. Eh? It feels so odd. I explored carefully. I made the jump. There are many enemies behind me. For some reason I have 11k souls on me. There is an empty bridge. The trap looks so obvious that it hurts. I am confused. I push ahead. A dragon appears and kills me in a single hit. Asshole. The shittiest action game ever designed. I now understand from where all those speedrunner souls came from. Frustration built up, they simply started to run. It is tragic. All the exploration, all the combat, all the roleplay mechanics, you're gone. Now I'm playing Pepsi Man. TikTok dash for the Gen Z. I run across the enemies. Now I want capsules that make plunk noises while collecting them. Plunk, plunk, plunk. Easy game for babies. I find myself once again at the bridge. Now an angry lizard looks at me. Is that the Kiryu from Monster Dwells? This guy cannot take a shit without looking at someone else's toilet, it seems. Now what? I stare forward little by little. The Kiryu seems to not care. I stares ahead, however. I poke the aggro of the dragon. Yes, it does attack. However, the wall seems to work as a shield. I take the stairs and find a shortcut to the bonfire below. Castlevania 64 shortcut, let's go. I push forward. Below the bridge there is a small path that leads to a room with rats. That, an easy path. Then a new foe appears, a shiny boar. I engage. The thing is immune to staring and physical damage. An armored boar. I die. The game becomes more boring. I try again. I kill the boar with a fire that does indirect damage. I find out the hard way. I clear the area, kill the big guys, the old guys, everything. I open the door, and there is a mage in the second floor. Ran out of potions, low on health, not a single checkpoint in the whole area. There is a path to the left that looks like a jungle. I choose a mage. Better a known evil than an unknown friend. The old evil was in the middle of a party. I die, and all those souls were lost. Because it's time to, Pepsi Man, run across nowhere. The rats are in the way. The placement of many enemies is such to prevent players from running across the intended challenge. And I am about to block the machine. This game has boring garbage with another petulant developer with little dick energy. My game is so hard, only the best players can handle it. Bore me to death, you fucking idiot. This walking simulator only beats Slenderman in how pointless it is to play. After many tries, I Pepsi Man my way across the level. There was a checkpoint to the left. There was a checkpoint before as well. I had to Pepsi Man the dragon too. So much wasted potential. Don't like it? Don't play it. Of course. Nothing like playing this game along all the garbage that I don't play. Then I don't want to hear it. A good game? Nah. You like it. You like garbage. Zero plays for walking simulators and take that dash, you despicable basement dweller. But I already wasted my money. Because everyone seems to forget that the whole point of a critic is to prevent the consumer from wasting their time and money. No more heroes, Mad World, Super Mario. I could recommend any. Yes, platforming games and shooters are action games. This one doesn't even feel like an action game at all. An RPG? Everything is an RPG. RPG means to have a protagonist. It's something we don't have a protagonist. We are just a random hollow that is here for the ride. An expendable zombie, another hero that must be sacrificed for the cause, is something we are mostly irrelevant. Resembles Darkest Dungeon in that regard. Wait a minute. Wait, what? Is this a dungeon crawler? Oh. I'm just an idiot. This is not an action game. This is a dungeon crawler. A 3D dungeon crawler. My mac and cheese tastes like fish soup. No, this is fish soup all along, you idiot. Everything makes sense now. This game is not missing checkpoints. It has checkpoints. It is a watered down version of many hardcore dungeon crawlers. Learn, rinse and repeat. A very niche and unpopular kind of games, only for the most nerdy and antisocial creatures to exist. Plays Dungeons and Dragons with friends. So, I just have to be patient. Very patient. Then, I'm not playing a dungeon crawler without a guide. Those guides are masochism major. Dungeon crawlers are very time consuming. After a quick research, this game is long. 40 or so hours of gameplay, if you know the way. Elemental weaknesses, shortcuts, hiding checkpoints, natural progression, builds, and lore. What lore? I need to change gears. And for what I know about dungeon crawlers, I can make certain predictions. Malboros. Status effects are going to be a huge part of the gameplay. In the same way, elemental resistances and elemental weaknesses. To use items rather than pile them in the inventory. Being prepared. So far, I was trying to kill my way with nothing else than my axe. I will surely need bombs, knives, and a bow. Somewhere, sometime, there is going to be a tiny little fuck throwing shit at me, and my life will be just easier if I carry this all the time. Also, with that in mind, now the game becomes so permissive and friendly. The comparison becomes absurd. Infinite inventory with no weight, inventory items that had no special requirements, just like Diablo. This game is the Minecraft of dungeon crawlers. The easiest baby mode, toddler goo goo gaga, casual friendly chill cozy vibes game of all time. Games like Darkest Dungeon, a game designed to make the player suffer, punishing reasonable decisions and novel playthrough with nothing else than RNG. This means to stack up and be prepared to be certain. And if you are wondering why this change of perspective is so brutal, allow me to explain. Action RPG games are usually challenges of mechanical skill, not cognitive ones. If this then is a cognitive challenge, then the answer is to think before engaging in the next part of the adventure. To not expect bonfires, making exploration and examination of places a must to return before risking to lose progression. To learn from failure and experimentation rather than protecting the record of deaths. As such, I venture ahead to the Wikipedia. I'm not risking it. Castlevania 2 teaches me that games can fail to the players in unexpected ways. Things that are easy to see for a few are invisible to others. Like the pathway to the catacombs or New London. Even if my mechanical skills are superb, I would spend hours trying to find that little ledge. It's invisible to me. I learned my new enemy. The bell gargoyles. Chop tail to get axe. Chop tail to get axe? I feel like a child. I kill everything on my pile to get an axe. Failed 15 attempts, I get the axe. The gargoyles go down in a single attempt. Yes, cutting the tail took me 50 attempts. Killing the gargoyles only took me a single attempt. I ring the first bell, and now we grind. There's a blacksmith, and I know that dungeon crawlers require grinding. I steamrolled the game afterwards. I was stuck in every point in a strength and endurance to become the ultimate berserker. In other words, most bosses died in a few seconds. Using humanity as potions, farming humanity and buying monsters from the dead that sell them. The Capra demon takes a few kills on me. A shield? What is that? I do use shields. I play it as a warrior tank in World of Warcraft. I like them. The 100% physical damage reduction seems like too much. Then I learn about parry. Levels usually give the answer to the boss. A target shield is found on the level. The weakness of the Crappa demon is shields. 5 tries. Blighttown was painful but not unbearable. The most annoying part was the complex maze-like structures and the many invisible ladders. I need yellow paint. I cannot see them. It will not help. Pretty sure those are yellow anyway. There seem to be a bunch of random fallen deaths around. A golden one trapped in a barrel, another trapped in a room. They offer little to no interaction. A new axe, the butcher knife. Okay, Mildred, the one without chain, appears. She then becomes a summon to help in the next battle. I understand that undead revives. Death and failure are part of the plot. Then I do not understand why some enemies seem to not respond beyond the gameplay perspective. Are the butchers human? Are the toxic speeders human too? The plot and the gameplay are confusing too. I do not understand some of the choices in the game design. Axes seem to scale rather poorly with Strange. Power Within occupies my only attunement slot. A spell that requires little to no investment. I tried to purchase the Homeway spell. I failed to read the 18 points in fate required to make use of it. So now I have a spell that simulates enrage. I would prefer for the spell to increase damage received rather than burning the little health of it. Not a single point invested in health so far. Gargoyle Axe, a Spider Shield, Poison Ring, Iron Ring, and stacks of moss. Poison means very little. And the next foe is... oh. Interesting design choice. An anglerfish, an angler spider, is trying to distract. Sadly for her, I am a warrior, not a wizard. Ironically enough, the summon that appears to help me with the fight is the naked girl. The distraction works against her somehow. Dodge, girl, dodge! Don't stand in front of the spider. Girl? Okay. A few tries and the spider girl falls. The explosion and tangling in her legs is rather lethal. Second bell is ringing. The door to the jungle temple is now open. Before going too far, I decide to check the guide again to see if I missed something. A gimmick boss that gives free souls and a hiding sad spider. I did check the walls before, however, I did not hit the correct one. I have no idea. The dissonance between minds is such. I find the side spider is a blind-sided spider. Lore intensifies. Was the red spider the mom? Is the white spider the child? Monsters need to learn to yell. It was self-defense and Scooby designed to make the player feel bad. to make the player the bad guy. Cheap psychology, if I have to state something. And I press the wrong button and I see her tremble in fear. All the fool. From all the times when that could happen, I load the game and nothing happened. There is such as a Mr. Reset feature implemented as well. It simply does not punish the player for doing so. A very permissive game rather than petty. I despise the Mr. Reset feature. I venture forward after giving a hug for no reason to a ugly spooder. A temple filled with traps and snake people. Terraria? Which game was first game? The snake people are stronger foes. They still die. At this point, the butchery blade has become a deception. The weapons have individual movesets rather than a class pool. Weapons have collision with walls, floors, and roofs. The butchery blade collides here and there. The battle axe reach is somewhat poor against enemies with far superior range. I push forward, get in front of the forkgate. That climb will be too painful to do again. I check the guide. No boss behind. Bonfire close. Oh. Proceeds to fail to find Satan Fire. Video tutorial to find bonfire. Oh. I am blind. Challenges are different for everyone. I proceed to sweep the floor with everything that claims to be alive. Then I proceed to fall the stupid jump to the merchant 20 times in a row. Fuck me. The golem is next, the golem is dead. What a pushover. Ring of light, accidental button press, big castle ahead. I wander for far too long. There is a golden fog behind one of the golems. Time for the guide again. I'm blind. My favorite part of the game, crossing the stupid beams. I crawl my way to the other side. The enemies have more trouble than me while crossing to attack me. A second gaggle, another chopped tail, no axe. Sad. It is a crocodile. Oh no, the enemies remembered to close the door. My fighting skills and giant axe are incapable of going through a door. What can I do? Another walk through thin beams. Really? A sniper shooting punching gloves? A fight with a silver knight? First try. That part seems too painful to fail. A broken window. A house plagued by silver knights. I clear the area. Another broken window. Shortcuts acquired. Blanks being found. Mistake was made. Battle axe upgraded to golden axe. I've been investing in strength and endurance. However, I have not found an armor that suits my style. There are no berserker style sets, only knights. The armor that I ended investing was a light knight set. High defense, low weight, requires slabs to max out. The level gives the Hebel set, the highest poise I have seen so far. The game gives you the answer to the boss. Crystal halberd, Hebel set, in other words, just match. However, I am stubborn. More than that, I have not invested in hell at all. I check the guide. The next boss is the Golden Duo. I know them, I have seen them before. These two were famous ones for being a special difficult fight in a game that was known for being difficult. I take the bait and become insecure about my chances. Watch the guide, target the bad guy, be patient, search for an opening to strike. The boss seems intimidating. I proceed to fail 4 times in a row. Then, I anger, I keep the heal set, and this fight is a joke. If you have range, target the guy that doesn't move. If you have damage, target the guy that approaches. I am such an idiot. I proceed to beat the life out of Hornstein before the fatigue can reach me. Such a wimpy guy, he cannot break the poise of the halberd set. His poise is not very high either. The second phase is a joke. The fat one staggers every second hit. A new item is the reward, the teleporting bowl. I read the guide. The catacombs, the library, hell, and the flooded place are next. I choose the flooded place. I want the second ending. I kill everything until I find that I require a ring. The garden is cleared. Either kill it, cats kill it, hunters kill it. A big great fluffy wolf is the next foe. Odd choice. All bosses so far has been rather ugly or disgusting in one way or another. This one is not. The fluffy wolf falls. Rather weak. I deleted the hellbar in a few swings. I found out about the plot later. To villainize the player. I really dislike cheap psychology. More when it comes to a personal level. I did have to sacrifice one of my dogs to cancer. With all due respect, fuck you developer. Raining hard, I kill everything in my path, and the four kings fall, with heavy armor and swinging like crazy. Level 81, strength and endurance almost maxed out. What? This is a dungeon crawler. It's a game of preparation. Do you want me to play like you? Well, then you play like me. You were unable to find out the little thing. You got stuck and you simply had to quit. No? Well, get the games are next. A divine weapon you should take. A steamrolling, the thumb of giants, the enemies in place. These guys are blind. The enemy detection in the place is reduced, and is quite noticeable. I took the heavy armor off and sneaked my way around. Only a few enemies seems to be capable of seeing in the darkness. A school lantern dropped for me, which is the only reason for me to be capable of seeing. Combat here would be so painful. However, it seems to not be mandatory. I don't have the fog ring, nor the hush spell. I simply cross by walking. I exit the cave only to find a second one. A paladin welcomes me. A paladin throws himself to the PNG below. Okay. I enter the arena of Grave Lord Nito. Amazing design, and is dead. A divine weapon I did take from the corpse of Patches. Then I proceed to go to hell. I mean, Lost Isolate. I kill the big guy with the scripted event since it can only happen once. I fought him in New Game Plus. I missed nothing. Then, did the developers run out of budget? A single glimpse and the smart enemy placement that characterizes the world adventure seems to disappear in a very rude way. Well, screw this. No one gives a fuck. I do give a fuck. There was a skeleton that manages to kill me in the Storm of Giants. An archer being a pain in the ass, being guarded by a few pillar bones. 3 in total. However, the tier 1 retreats. I try to rush for the archer and a giant skeleton kicks me into the abyss. I felt that. Cheap psychology? In this way? Yes, please. Cleverness, I will praise it. Suddenly gone. A bunch of bosses clearly shows how far we have. Okay, nothing has changed. Except for the budget. I take my time to clear the wall floor, the next hallway and the next area, 2 new enemies, a worm and a walking dragon egg. A boss, a tunnel to the right, then a giant thing clinging to a wall. I have no idea what to think. Was that boss supposed to chase us like the worms? I go through the tunnel and a wall opens. I have been farming rats in the sewer for infinite health potions. The saddest Poodle girl wants them. I have plenty to share. Yes, I regret hitting her. A mass jumps around, then a titanite demon blocks the path. Those things are somewhat difficult for me to fight. This corridor seems especially painful to fight. I am carrying a lot of souls as well. Maybe I should buy rings of sacrifice from the guy at the tower. I spent thousands to prevent the loss of millions. I return and go through the fog gate. My surprise is unmeasurable. They did run out of budget. Results, I guess. A boss again, not far below. The demon centipede. I have no idea what to think. The concept is amazing. The execution is Shogat but fire. Yes, I also know League of Legends. Yes, League of Legends is older than Dark Souls. And Shogat designs they belong somewhere else. I fail to remember exactly from where right now. Maybe Contra? Ignore this. The demon centipede is compulsing all around with no clear intention. I cut his arm. Awesome. A ring that protects from lava. The centipede dies on a second try. I step into the lava. A sad soul layer receives me in the next area. Guy cannot find a son? Well, it's not in hell. This guy is dumb. Excuse the joke. I understand the psychology of motivation and self-deprecation. The next area. Are those walking bots? Non-walking bots. Immobile bots. Okay, the most boring and uneventful area so far. I just walk on some branches and done. The next area is filled with the Tamago dragons, another invader, a witch, a bunch of ugly. What in hell is that? Next box, Dark Souls Parkour. Never again, the most boring, pointless and random boss ever. Took me 2 tries. 2 red balls get swept across the floor by the hands with a shield, struggling with the awful camera, the terrible pacing and the clunky controls. And the wall back is atrocious. It's the biggest march of non-shame. There is no need to kill a single enemy in the whole march. That was tragic. I also found the onion guy again. He wants to fight the ugly octo things on his own. Okay. He jumps and... Oh. He... was I supposed to help? Or was I going to know he was going to throw himself against 4 or more enemies at the same time? Where did he throw himself? Ah, here. There's a branch to the exit at the other side. I mean, I can see it. That was annoying. Anyway, one last place. The archives. An scripted death and one ugly-ass dragon stole it from Monster Duel again. Blind, white, fanboy dragon, I summon you. Shouldn't for being different. He adopted girls and made them ugly as well. What was the point of his morbidity? I was going to kill him anyway. I killed the fluffy dog. At this point, I am Satan. Is that what the title of the game suggests? People with dark souls? We are just bad people? That will make the PvP features understandable. Humans with rotten attitudes go were sheltered in the word human to excuse how useless their existence is. Monsters twisted by the frustration and pain of failure and rejection. My guys did not bug moss. You can be ugly, but there's no excuse to not be funny. Why are you such a loser? Inexcusable. Die, ugly fanboy dragon. Die with your victim couplets and stupidity that hurted innocent people. Not me. I'm Satan after all. Okay, I killed everyone. Now what? The socket puppet in the abyss takes me to a door. I place the bowl. I put the souls in the bowl, and the door opens. A white tuna. The past, the present, the future. What lies beyond? Soup of souls on a giant Michael teleporting bowl. I am too dull to understand this analogy. An ancient land, a few black knights, one-on-one, no challenge at all. A black knight suite, a black knight ice traps. Oh, this is annoying. This weapon is amazing. The analogy? Oh yeah. I go through the white gate and... The music hits hard. A tragedy. An eroded king, full with sins and regrets, zealously guarding his duty. The flame he guards no longer exists. I smile. I know the truth. I know the truth, and you can have it. Oh, the old man has some moves. Rams doesn't like potions. Okay, no potions. Full skill intended. The king falls to my blade, and I was not even using my full power. I was still learning how to use a black knight axe. It was not even upgraded. Wait, I see the bonfire. I cannot kindle that flame. I am Satan after all. This duty doesn't belong to me. So, where can I exit? I step through the door and... Welcome, my lord, they bow to me. A new age of obscurantism, the snakes say. Ignore the remark, I will do nothing. The game ends and the credits roll. A very charming game indeed. A single word comes to me, hardships. Exploration, adventure, don't know. The solutions involved in no idiotic efforts. It is an adorable game. Sad Spooder was fed. Onion Guy was consumed by his insecurities. The man illuminating everyone else's lives became dust in the shadows of his sun. The Golden Dude became a villain while impotence twisted his worldview. His limits, not ours. He lacked the vision that Lord Wing had. Idiotic, insufficient, mistake as the mistake. The one who was there to do something about. Instead of sitting on his ass to throw shit to the ones who do try. The wind that bites more than what it can chew, and dies alone instead of asking for help. The one lost in obsession, the one lost in cowardice. The asshole that loves to kick you into bits. Hardships. Nah, it's a beautiful game. The developer had no idea what he was doing, but it fucking worked. Critic. There are plenty of flaws. Lost Isolated hurts so much. Dungeon crawlers are so niche. The game fails brutally to communicate its identity. The more people say the game is hard, the more the reputation of the score falls. This is the Minecraft of dungeon crawlers. This is baby mode. It cannot be made easier. Some bosses can literally be defeated by spamming potions and attacks. It is ridiculous to call this game difficult when it tries to not be difficult. Hard game, the more people claim, the more I hear and intuitive. Overcomplicated, confusing, annoying, frustrating. The game does not intend to be any of this. One of the friendliest, if not the friendliest of the dungeon crawlers I know of. Abundance of checkpoints, very short routes, places to grind experience and power leveling, abundance of options, abundance of solutions for most situations, options easy to find, overpowered rings, overpowered weapons. There is hard game. No, do not say that. That is an accusation of the game designed to be flawed. The game is trying to be charming, adorable, sexy, funny. The game is not cute. Do am I imagining the mushroom dudes and the fluffy wolf? The adorable small ones and the grumpy face on the big ones. It does not try to be funny. I think the guy in a bar with very polite remarks requesting help before being cannibalized is very funny. The wimpy guy, he died 10 feet away from the starting line. Okay, maybe I shouldn't laugh about that one. Sexy. I have no need to explain that one. To hear that the game is hard have become a nail to my ears. There are plenty of design flaws in the game. Far too many humanoid enemies will be won. Swing attack seems rather abundant in the mobsets of the bosses. There is no projectiles. I have no idea how much easier it is to play Mage or Ranger. Seems rather unbalanced on that side. The weapon pool is very frustrating. Maces are strange, based along blades for some reason. Do Dex players struggle to find weapons? The endurance given energy along carrying capacity is wrong to me. Fire having no prerequisites, broken beyond intention. Elemental weaknesses are very poorly explored due to the lack of enemies on early levels. The first two stages are nothing other than undeaths. Sets give no interesting stats to physical slayers. People who are playing as Warmer, Brutes, Barbarian, Berserkers, Assassin, Rogues, Thieves. Is this the same for casters? The Kite Wyvern is just us. The fight was a struggle to decipher. Some cohesive choices. The Demon Minotaur, lore-wise, what is the guy doing over there? The same applies to the one in the depths. The Gaping Dragon, a Crocodile, an overgrown Basilisk. I thought the last dragons were the zombie ones. The spider is a sapient being, isn't it? I guess it can construct whatever it wants. Hell is downward, so whatever. I have no idea where the sea level is. That is on me. There are more, however, I think that is enough. The score, personally, 9 out of 10. I love the game and all its ugly flaws. The colors are a guy that really likes to span the stones and moss everywhere. I have to recognize he knows how to arrange those. The spooky, the fiery, the mystic, the dark, and the swamp. It's very rare for me to praise the music in a game as well, only very few others to mention. Undertale, Mega Man, Sonic maybe. Every silly hero or champion, the guy that seeks the sun, the Sadonian guy, the crazy magic man with bad taste for women, second crazy magic man that I forgot in the fortress, the edgy sim, the naked gal with the bag on the head, the shy menacing one, the dear crazy magic man. Can wizards not be normal ones? The priest, the golden warrior, the priest hater, a very colorful bunch in a tale that was supposed to be dark grey. The only real underscore is Lost Isolate, that incomplete plot. However, the official score, critically, is 4 out of 10. I cannot recommend a game that people are going to misunderstand, suffer, and humiliate themselves for their illiteracy. I can only do so much and is either accuse people of having cognitive problems or recognize the game design flaws that fail to be understandable by the majority. People only see misery, morbidity, and game hard. Objective, truthful, even if it makes me hate it. I would like to play the other games, but it seems the developer only went against the aspect that makes this game wonderful to know. Am I going to find another giant skeleton kicking my arrogant ass into the abyss in those games? Clear an accursed place with cursed enemies that curse you, only to find a poisonous place with enemies that poison you, and harsh poison you? How many tales can I shop? Find out the hard way that you have to climb back from the depths of hell if you don't have a teleporting bowl? No. Then I have little to no interest in those games. Well, that will be everything from me. Kind regards.